2 classes in less than a week? I told you I'd get back on it with these fitness reviews. Anyway, there's a story behind why I went to the class I went to this week. Basically, I'm taking part in International Volunteer Week next week with the company that I work with. We're trying to raise as much money as possible for charity, and one of the things we're doing for that is a step-a-thon. One problem though, I haven't been on a stepper for absolutely ages. So at BXR they do a class called Climb to the Beat, and it's on a Versaclimber, which is kind of similar to a stepper, so I thought I'd get down there, give it a go and get some practice in. So a Versaclimber is a piece of machinery and you strap your feet in, 1 foot's up, 1 foot's down. Here, let me get up and show you. So yeah, basically you're in the Versaclimber, you've got 1 foot up, 1 foot down, and then one arm's up and one arm's down, and you push through the floor and you sort of do a motion like that. So your legs are going like this and your arms are doing that at the same time. Basically, imagine the motion of running with punching your arms in the air. It's a similar sort of motion, but the resistance is going the opposite. So whereby when you're running, you bring your legs up to your chest. On this, you're pushing through the floor, and simultaneously, your arms are going like that. So it's a pulling motion in your arms and a pushing motion in your legs. I've probably completely confused you there, but you get the picture. It's one of those pieces of equipment that you see in the gym, you think, oh, that looks alright, I'll have a little go on it. You don't really know what you're doing. After 5 minutes, you're bored and you sack it off. That's why I'm glad that I went to this class to try it out. First things first, let's talk about the gym. Think old school boxing gym with a modern day feel to it. It is absolutely unbelievable. I was absolutely gassed about One Rebel, but I think this might surpass it. It's only open recently, so as you'd imagine, everything is absolutely pristine. They've got a boxing ring, they've got all sorts of different classes available there, not just the Versaclimber. The change rooms were absolutely massive. There's a sauna in them, the showers were decent, and they've got all the sorts of products that One Rebel had, and more, I think. So anyway, got there about 15 minutes early, really friendly receptionist, showed me around the whole gym, showed me where the facilities were, where the change rooms were, everything, and then I was ready to start the class. So as I said, I've never ever used a Versaclimber before, so I got in there and I was kind of looking at it a bit like, right, what do I do here then? So I sheepishly went into the class, had a little look round, and then Courtney, the guy taking the class, could obviously see that I'd never done the class before, and he introduced himself, really friendly again, and told me how to get myself set up with the machine, and off I went. So I've already explained the motion of it, you don't need me to show you that again, or do you? Now, I'm not going to lie to you, the first 2 minutes of this session, I absolutely hated it. My body's obviously not used to the movements, I've never been on the machine before, I was going through the motions, my quads were burning, my glutes were on fire, and I was just like, nah, this is not for me. I would 100% have got off the machine had I just been doing it on my own in the gym, but I was obviously in a class, so I didn't want to go through the embarrassment of being like, nah, my legs are burning already, so I stuck to it, slowed the pace down a little bit, and just cracked on with it. And again, the next 8 minutes, didn't really like it. It was an absolute killer, but that's what you go to a fitness class for. I'm doing these classes because I want to do stuff that I've never done before, put me out my comfort zone, and ultimately get an absolute sweat session of a workout in. Anyway, I got to about the 10-minute mark, and I just started to enjoy it, and I was really getting into it. So I didn't realise this at the time, but the guy taking the class was called Courtney. I've followed him on Instagram since. He's the Hitman, and he is a Nike trainer. I think about 60% of my enjoyment of the class comes from the person running it, and that was definitely the case with this one. A huge part of this session for me was based on the music. I felt at times I was literally just closing my eyes, gritting my teeth and just going through the motions, but the music helped me massively. And it was so well mixed. When we were doing our resting periods, the music dropped a little bit, and as soon as you had to do the sprints, the intensity of the music went up, and it just made you move along to the beat, and yeah, it was just absolutely fantastic. So I can't really remember the structure of the class. It seemed to literally jump about everywhere, but basically it was made up of HIIT, so we were doing like 40 seconds on and then a 20 seconds working rest. I could see people around me who were like keeping the intensity up on the working rest, so again, because you're in that group environment, it makes you want to work even harder. So we got the HIIT. There were sprints in there, so we were doing like 20 seconds at a time and then to a full rest. And then there was a time of endurance, so 3.5 minutes just flat out going. Tell you what, that was a tough one. Now looking at the piece of the equipment when you go in there, you're like, how much can you possibly do with this? But there was lots of variation in a class where there's only one piece of equipment. As I said, if I'd have done this machine in a gym, I'd have hopped off of it straight away. But the class environment really keeps you going. Not only because it's embarrassing leaving a group fitness class, but you can see the people's screens in front of you. So I think the guy to the right of me, in front of me, was on like 5,500 steps by the end, and because I'm so competitive, I was literally just trying to keep up with him, and he really kept me going. Right, here's my tips tip for you for this class. If you want to really motivate yourself, look at the fittest person in the room and just try and match them. if you're going just for the aesthetics, look for the fittest girl in the room and position yourself behind her. I'm not going to lie, the calibre of women in this class was absolutely ridiculous. They're all absolute worldies, little crop tops, shredded. It's worth going just for that. So yeah, I absolutely loved the class. Really good intensity, really good motivation from the trainer. Equipment was good, the facilities were amazing. And yeah, it just put me out of my comfort zone. It's something I've never done before. I've changed my mind because the first 10 minutes of that class, I was like, I cannot wait for this to end. I'm never ever doing it again. But I would 100% do this again. It's not something that I'd incorporate into my training on a weekly basis, but I like doing something every now and then which is completely out of the ordinary. So yeah, I'd do this to change my workouts up a little bit. And obviously, I'm doing this charity thing on Tuesday, so I feel like I've got a step ahead. I've got a bit of practice in, and I'm going to absolutely smash this stepper challenge on Tuesday and raise loads of money for charity. So price-wise, I paid 30 quid for this class, which is towards the upper end of the scale of all the fitness classes that I've done in London, but I think it is justified because the facilities are amazing, the class was really good, and it's just a cool thing to say you've trained in one of Anthony Joshua's gyms, isn't it? I'm definitely going to go back though. As I say, there's loads of different classes you can do. I'm quite keen on doing a boxing class as well as trying out some of the HIIT and strength and conditioning. So yeah, it definitely gets a thumbs up from me. These fitness classes are becoming even harder to rate because they fit into different categories. So you've got your likes of F45, which is not comparable in any way to this class because this was purely cardio, where F45 mixes functional training with cardio, strength and conditioning, everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start splitting them out. F45 has hands down won that category. I feel like the Versaclimber session fits into sort of a spinning category, so it's the first one I've done, so it's going to be top of the league. I'm going to give this a strong 8. Let's be clear, I absolutely hated that class for the first 2 minutes. Then I really strongly disliked it for the next 8, but after that, the last 35 minutes of it were actual, like, I enjoyed it. Came out the other end thinking, yeah, definitely would do that again. And I think that's testament to the guy who was running the class. He was giving pointers on how to do stuff, really motivational, mixing the music well, and yeah, it was just a really good atmosphere in there, and I got an absolute sweat on. I've given F45 an 8, and I've given this an 8, so they're on par with each other, but for different reasons. I can't wait to go back to the gym and try out one of the other classes, so stay tuned, and I'll hopefully do a review on one of the other ones in the coming weeks. Peace!